Okay, One Piece, chapter 1122. It's a doozy. It's a doozy. Y'all, there's a thing, right? Because I saw people commenting about how bad the chapter was even before I read the chapter. And so it kind of set me up a little bit. And I'm just like, bro, I hope this chapter isn't bad. Heard it was going to be a break week. I was like, yo, what is going on? But I'm so happy I don't read leaks or listen to any of this stuff. And the noise, I try to block it out. And this chapter just proved all that shit wrong, bro. Like, anyway, I'm not saying One Piece is perfect, but it's close. It's this chapter. It's so much to talk about. So many things I agree with, things I disagree with. We're supposedly at the end of Egghead. We're sailing away, but we're still here. Post Egghead counts as Egghead. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. First, My Hero has ended. I will drop a My Hero video on the channel. If you guys go way back, you saw I used to cover My Hero back in the day. Not that many videos, but I covered My Hero. And it's great for me to see that My Hero got its ending. Not sure how good the ending is, but first I got to catch up. But the cover story, the cover art, got context behind that. That's basically Horikoshi's drawing that he did of Smoker back in the day when he's 15. Oda redid it himself. That is the greatest honor you could get. Oda redrawing your thing and putting it at the beginning of a chapter. Come on, Horikoshi. Oda loves you, bro. It's crazy because back then when My Hero started, we asked the question, what's going to end first? One Piece of My Hero. We all said My Hero. We all said My Hero, and it got there. But now, the color spread was amazing too. Color spread was dope. I mean, we know who's king. Bro, I don't think One Piece is ever going to end. I just don't see it. At this point, I don't. Okay. I'm chapter 1122, y'all. Let's go. People are still reacting. And at first it's like, why are you guys reacting that way? But what people heard is that the fate of the world, it depends on pirates and what pirates decide to do, which, yo, I hate to break it to y'all. It's been that way for a long time. The world government that you thought was protecting you, they wasn't messing with you like that. Those pirates didn't help you. And then the people in Dressrosa know that, Alabasta know that. Right? They know and they understand how important integral pirates are. Drum Island, right? They understand just how integral pirates have been to the world, but now it's being put on a major scale. Like we said, Vegapunk's message is a reaffirmation and it's reinvigorating pirates. They're like, all right, so it's real. So there's some people that heard Roger say it. It's like, I don't know about that. He might be lying. They heard Whitebeard say it. They're like, okay, but they used to be friends. He could be lying too. Now Vegapunk saying it, they're like, okay, all right, 3 people, I gotta go out to sea. I'm like, bro, stay home. Stay home. You don't want that smoke out there. You don't want that smoke. So people are starting to believe it because they're hearing it over and over again from different people. And so now a new influx of pirates. Do they have time to get to where they need to get to? Probably not. But the world is going to get even more chaotic. Do they have the facilities? Probably not. Probably not. But the world is changing. Tide is changing a little bit. Now, I asked the question, why were they letting the prisoners hear the message as well? I was like, yo, why are we letting them hear it? They answered it. Say, yo, it's playing everywhere. I don't know what to tell you. Right? And then Stainless was saying, yo, Vegapunk, how could you? How could you? What? They were trying to kill this dude. Everything the world government is doing, and even that response tells me something that a lot of Marines are still just going to be Marines because they don't really care what the world government was doing. They're just like, this is my duty. And that Vegapunk could be lying. Some of them are not going to believe it. Even if the signs are there, they're not going to believe what Vegapunk is saying because they're stuck, essentially. That brings us to Koby, right? And after everything Koby heard, you know what Koby said? Luffy, I got to stop your dream dead in its tracks. Everything that you heard, that's what you interpreted. That's what you broke it down to. I'm stopping Luffy. I like the confidence, I guess. You ain't stopping shit. I'm going to be honest with you, Koby. You can't do nothing with Luffy, right? Base, gear 4th, gear 5th. Right now, what you are, unless you do something else, you got to get hella stronger to touch a little base. Dead in his tracks, bro. Listen, I like Koby, so I'm not going to go too far. All right. I like the Pink Mamba, the unofficial name, but relax. What are you talking about? I was disrespected. And people are like, Koby's like, yo, he's confident. He's confident. He's just talking like, come on, let's be for real. Every time Koby saw Luffy, he got stopped dead in his tracks. Literally. What are you talking about? All right. Seriously, though, I do like Koby. I do. So it's just like, all right, Koby got moxie, as we already knew. But chill out. All right, chill out. So him stopping Luffy from achieving his dream, I don't know if that stops anything because, again, everything you heard from Vegapunk about the world, about everything, about the world going underwater, about the war that's been raging for all this time, your conclusion was, I got to stop Luffy, knowing the type of person Luffy is. I'm sure the questions are going to come eventually about what the world is doing, the world government is doing, what the Marines are doing. Right now, he's just laser focused on Luffy because that's been his goal the entire time. However, take a step back. He will be forced to at some point. He will be. But right now, it's a battle cry. I'm going to take Luffy down. I'm going to take Luffy down. Cool. Anyway, we go to Buggy. Buggy is growing on me so much, bro. He's close. He's close as heck to being my GOAT. His conversation with Mihawk and Crocodile telling them they were losers essentially and that they have to find new ambitions. Like they got complacent. One of the best moments in One Piece. I reread it recently and I was like, this is phenomenal. One of the best moments. So here, Buggy, he's understanding how to control the crowd, how to move the people, show them how to move in a room full of, he's understanding it. So Buggy's like, bro, what? He said, you fools, man. Why are you calling it my world? It's our world. Feel me? And they're like, oh, Buggy-sama, I will follow you to hell. You understand it, bro? He understand it. And the funny part is that Mihawk and Crocodile is like, all right, bro, sit down, nigga. Because Buggy can move a crowd like Mihawk and Crocodile never could. They don't have that type of personality. They don't have the wherewithal or the want to be able to do that, but they just can't, right? Not saying that they don't have their own sense of charisma, but it's just not like Buggy, right? So them seeing Buggy do all that, not saying it's jealousy, but just saying, something I've been waiting to see. Katarina calls Marshall. It's like, yo, what should we do? I could just pack him up. And Gabriel's like, yo. I'm telling you, it's important information. And Teach is like, bring him here. If that shit is whack, we killing him. So we already know they're not killing him. Something that I want to point out is that Teach was not at Hachinosa the last time we were there, which was last chapter or a couple chapters ago. So that's telling me he's still on the sea somewhere. They're going to meet up. And then they have a decision to make. Oh man, this is so important, but it goes so well with the chapter. It's something that I have to talk about after reviewing the chapter, okay? So just know this call, this moment, this meeting that they're about to have is so important because it's gonna have ramifications for the future. Now, Emmet, the Iron Giant, sturdy bastard, isn't he? Taking a lot of damage, bouncing back. You know, everyone's starting to root for him because he's trying to save them. He's trying to help them. And so I appreciate that. We got a moment where Nusjuro, he's still after the ship. I'm like, yo, he's not done. Atlas died for no reason. I mean, that just happens in One Piece. Niggas die for no reason. Not saying for no reason, but that wasn't going to stop Nusjuro. Like, come on. But valiant effort. Nusjuro's going after them still. And they're like, yo, Zoro, like, you got to do something, bro. Like, it's up to you, bro. You got to do something. At that point, I was scared because I was like, yo, are we really about to get Zoro versus Nusjuro now? I don't think it's time yet. I don't think Zoro's ready. I don't think Nusjuro's ready. He's ready. But I don't think it's like the perfect situation for Zoro and Nusjuro duel. Like we're on the sea, we're trying to get away. Like for swordsmen, right? For swordsmen, you want a perfect arena. Them by themselves, a lot of shit on the line. Like right now it's like that, but when it's a lot of things going on, especially when it comes to like the peak of swordsmanship, I don't think that's how Oda wants to handle things. So I was getting scared. However, nothing to worry about. Much ado about nothing. I was worried for no reason. There's a lot to unpack when it comes to Luffy, Joy Boy, Emmet in general, right? Just based off the conversation, that short conversation that Luffy had with Emmet. It's a few things. Emmet is still apologizing to Joy Boy because he failed for whatever reason, right? Failed to do what? We'll talk about it in a second. But he's apologizing. He said there's no chance he'd be alive because, of course, something happened. Emmet was probably out for a while. He woke up. Joy Boy's gone. And Luffy's like, yo, did you mistake someone for me? Emmet kind of doubles down and says, you look just like him. Some people were scared of that. I'm like, not to worry about that. We know that they both had Gear 5. So basically, Emmet and, well, Joy Boy and Luffy, right? They're going to look similar because they're both using Gear 5. And so Emmet is kind of pouring all his feelings that he had about Joy Boy into Luffy or towards Luffy, and Luffy can't process those feelings because he's like, I'm Monkey D. Luffy. Like, I'm not who you think I am. So he is who Emmet thinks he is, but not really. He's just a reincarnated form, seemingly, right? I like the moment, but the thing that brought the most, I guess, thought-provoking moment for me was I failed to make him king. King of what? First off, king of the world? Was Joy Boy, was that his true intention? Or rather, because he was fighting against the world government, that's the most logical outcome, right? It's not just about being pirate king, because he's the OG pirate. It's about something greater than that. So if he wins, he's essentially king. It was a battle for the world. And for Emmet, his goal was to make Joy Boy said king. Now, based off of this foundation, could that be something that Zebek took from to create his own foundation and pull from that and go from there? Which means that Zebek was probably looking for that Gomu Gomu no Mi. Maybe he found it, maybe he didn't. Maybe he found his own or tried to make his own path using the Yami Yami no Mi. Who knows, right? Because there's so many things that are still to be dissected, but that was important. We'll talk about that even more at a later date. Emmet is so remorseful about not making Joy Boy king. I'm willing to guarantee that Joy Boy, they're never going to speak again. I don't think, but he probably doesn't feel the same way Emmet feels, or Emmet thinks he feels, because he knows Emmet did everything he could to probably try to make him king. They lost, but I'm sure Joy Boy feels great about his friend, especially at the end of the chapter when we saw Joy Boy talking to Emmet. They had a great relationship. Now, what is Emmet? It is interesting because Emmet is sentient. I talked about that before. Emmet is a sentient robot that has feelings, thoughts. There's so much there that is just not a regular mechanical robot. Technology back then was insane, but I wonder if it's something more to Emmet, right? Is it more like him, right? Was he a special robot that could, with the sentience? So many questions, right? What triggered all this is Luffy saying, I'm Monkey D. Luffy. I'm the man who's going to be king of the pirates. And Emmet is like, D? That's all you had to say. And you got rhythm. I got this. I'm not going to let anything happen to you. That's all Emmet needed to hear. And then boom, conquers Haki. And at first I'm like, how can a robot, even though he's sentient, use conquers Haki? Okay, something that people missed. This robot was splitting the skies by itself. Through the Haki. We know what the Haki's from, but we'll talk about it. But you're splitting the skies by itself. I don't think y'all listening. We've never seen that. Typically, it's two monsters going at each other. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily an indication of strength, but I feel that way because that's crazy. But now, how is this happening? How is this robot using Conqueror's Haki that's not only splitting the skies by itself, because that's like something small. That's something small in regards to everything that's happening. He knocked out Marines. He stopped everybody from attacking Luffy. He sent the Gorosei back to Marijoa, right? All of them are sent back. And something I gotta say, Mars is there waiting on them. And at first I'm like, whoa, how is Mars waiting? Guys, do you remember the last time we saw Mars? Luffy, his combination attack with Bonnie and Frankie and Sanji sent them flying, meaning the damage was enough to negate the summoning. Now, it begs a different question. How can that be? Is it a Haki thing? Is it a damage thing? What then creates the how does it meet the criteria for it to undo the summoning? Because Mars got it undone in one way, and the Gorosei, all of them got it undone in another way, through Conqueror's Haki. Now, I'm not going to say that Conqueror's is the way to hurt them, because it seemed like it just, basically their bodies that were connected here through Saturn, because Saturn is still here, by the way. He's still there. Their bodies that were connected through him, they were sent back. Meaning, were their bodies, was it like a form of themselves? Was it actually them? It begs so many questions. I'm leaning towards it was actually them, but because they were summoned through Saturn's ability, right? It's an ability at the end of the day. It's not like it's not a way to travel. They're summoned. So they're brought about like through a devil fruit power or through a power. And so if that power is jolted or moved or interfered with in any way, it's reversed and they go back. So it does make the power is still OP, but if anything happens to seemingly the summoner or the summoned, they go back. So you understand now why someone would have to travel there, then summon the others, but they could just be left by themselves if enough damage, you assume, or Conqueror's Haki gets involved. Oda is basically doubling down on the fact that Conqueror's Haki is the pinnacle of the world, right? With Joy Boy, essentially, okay, I'll talk about what they did, but what? It's funny because Mars went back and he just sat there. He didn't even go to Emu. He just sat there waiting. He's like, I'm just waiting for them because I'm not going in there by myself. We see all them go back. Mars looks disappointed, like, y'all failed too. Emu fell to his knees. Now, how is this happening? One, Emu and the Gorosei are obviously connected. And so if they get interfered with in that way where like it undid their summoning, their transformations, Emu is affected. Two, Emu and them, they're so connected that he felt Joy Boy's Haki and PTSD. It's almost like Kaido and Odin, right? Like how Kaido was like, oh, that's Odin's Haki. I know it. He didn't say that. He said that's Odin's blade. I don't want to put anything out there, but he felt Odin's blade, right? And so it's one of those situations where what did Joy Boy do to Emu? But Joy Boy was strong enough to fight against Emu, who we think is at the top of the verse. Joy Boy is strong enough to fight against Emu, who we think is at the top of the verse. So Joy Boy automatically gets insanely upscaled. He has Gear 5. He has Insane Conqueror's Haki. Luffy's clearly on that path. It's just like everything that Emu was afraid of with Joy Boy, he's somewhat created through Luffy. Like, that's the guy you should have been worried about. That's the guy. Like, imagine, right? Garp joined the Marines at 22. Like, what if they kill Garp when he joined? I'm not sure if Garp had Dragon by then. I don't remember. I think Dragon's like 50 something. But like, imagine if you just kill Garp because he's a D. None of this happens. I haven't fact checked any of the numbers, but like, I mean, this is what you guys get. I don't feel sorry for the world. I mean, do you? Hell no, I don't feel sorry for them. That's what you get at the end of the day. It is what it is. But seeing Emu, right, eyes wide open, huffing and puffing. Damn, Joy Boy, what type of man were you? Now I want to meet Joy Boy. I want to see what Joy Boy was hitting on. Like, we meet him a little bit because I'm going to talk about my qualms of this arc because the arc isn't finished, but we're wrapping up. At the end of that, right, all those monsters disappear. Luffy goes to the crew, goes to the ship, like, yo, I'm so glad you guys made it. Like, yo, what happened? It's like, I don't know. They just disappeared. I don't know. Maybe they ran away. I don't really know. So then everybody's just asking questions, right? Because they made it. They're like, yo, Atlas and Edison, you know, they're like, all right, we don't care about them. They didn't say that, but that's how we feel. No. I'm sure some people care about Atlas and Edison, whatever. But everybody's trying to get away. Everyone's talking about just, you know, moving on. The Giants are asking, yo, how did a robot use Haki to make them vanish? Like, what did they do? Like, because, you know, they're warriors. I'm sure that intrigues them. But then we see Saturn and Emmet. Now, Saturn's a very integral part of this story because Saturn, there's so many things with him that could lead to other things. Catch my drift? Just save it for another video. But Saturn is still here. And the reason why Saturn is still here is because Saturn traveled to Egghead. He was not summoned. He was a summoner. He summoned everybody else, but even if he gets knocked out, his body was originally here. It wasn't a part of a technique or anything like that, right? I had a few questions about, like, can you summon them again? Is it limited to like a certain time, a certain number per day? Who knows? But the fact that he didn't do it again tells me that it's probably limited and he can't do it again. That's what I'm thinking. At the end, I'm surprised Oda did this. He gave us an explanation as to why Emmet could do what he did. Earlier on, when Emmet used all that Haki, there was a rope, a knot that he released. And when you think back, that's similar, very similar to Weatheria, right? How that was back then when Nami was up there. Something they said is what Nami used is a wind knot. Like, you tie it and then you release it and it's like a gust of wind. But they also mentioned that other types of knots can be grown in the weather garden. That's something that they specifically said. Now, this is a Haki knot. So I'm assuming the same concept where Joy Boy says he's going to gather his most powerful Haki, seal it inside him. And he says you use it whenever you see fit. Something to point out, the type of person that Emmet is, because Emmet has been in mortal danger several times. Emmet was essentially deactivated, right? He fought back then, right? Then years ago, moved again, got deactivated again, never used a knot. But until someone came by with the same D name that he wanted to save, that Joy Boy gave an option. Someone you can save yourself or someone you would want to save. That's when he used the knot. This tells me enough about not only Emmet, but Joy Boy, who they were, and how it's not about them. They're super selfless people. I thought that was really cool. But Joy Boy sealed his Haki inside of Emmet, and then the knot was untied, and that wine Haki, right, because it's been fermented and sitting, timeless Haki, whatever the hell you want to call it, split the skies by itself. That's Joy Boy's Haki. Joy Boy's Conqueror's Haki that he sealed within Emmet. Crazy technique. Don't know if the Haki has gotten stronger over time. I'm going to assume the Haki that Joy Boy sealed is just like how it was. When the Haki came out, just like how it was sealed, that's just Joy Boy's Haki, which tells me Joy Boy is like, I mean, it's the greatest Haki feat in the series. It is. It just is. Splitting the skies by yourself, sending the Gorosei back, undoing summonings, knocking out Marines. The greatest. The greatest. Now I need a Joy Boy story. I'm not sure if that's going to be something that happens after One Piece, but we need it. We need it. When they had a conversation, it was so long ago, and Joy Boy was saying, you know, when it saves you, it's like, I'll be saving you here from the past, right? And Emmet, of course, he's appreciating that because of the relationship him and Joy Boy had, where they were friends, legitimate friends, you know? And so it's to the point where he's just dreaming and reminiscing of the times that happened. And man, Joy Boy seems like a great figure to be able to do something like that, to kind of, we had a certain level of Conqueror's Haki or ability when we left Wano. And now that bar has been raised by Joy Boy. And so it tells me Luffy still has a ways to go in regards to not only Conqueror's Haki, but just as a legend. I mean, Joy Boy, that is crazy. You know, he has a straw hat. Seemingly looks like he has a peg leg. You can't really tell, right? Because some people are saying, yo, this is why Shanks is a god because he lost a limb. That's like the key to it. That's what people are saying. I don't know. People are saying that. But Joy Boy, man, Joy Boy, so much to unpack. Give me your thoughts though, guys. How do you feel about all this? Did you like it? Because I was going to tell you guys my critique of how Egghead seemingly ended. I don't think it's the time. I think let's appreciate everything that's happened, kind of soak and, you know, wallow in that. Because I think it was really, really effective how Oda kind of helped the Straw Hats. Some people may feel like it's super plotty, lacks tension, etc. But we know the Straw Hats got away this time. It wasn't anything of, oh, could they get captured? It was called the Egghead incident. And of course, that's in the favor of the Straw Hats. So I'm not sure what people were expecting there because I saw some negative comments. Chapter's pretty good. Chapter's really good. Now, when we get into like my issues with the ending, we'll talk about that there. For right now, give me your thoughts on everything that happened here. Joy, Boy, Emeth, Blackbeard, Katarina, all that different stuff. Like the video, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, B.D.A. Follow me on Instagram, Buggy. Thank you to my patrons as well. You guys have been going crazy for everything that we've been watching this season, and One Piece to Solo Leveling to Demon Slayer. Appreciate you guys so much. So yeah, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.